Hey folks, of course you know the great month of June is crepe myrtle time in Florida. But did you know that Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens has more crepe myrtles than anyone in this part of the state? Now's the time to come pick yours out. With prices starting as low as $2.99 for the regular $9.99 number 1 size. And listen to this tremendous deal on larger crepe myrtles. For the big number 20 size, regularly $329. You buy one, you get one at half price. Delivered, planted, and guaranteed. Now that's too good to miss. And just in, a new shipment of those dwarf, ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas. Buy 1 or 100, just $3.99. And Bob has daylily starter plants, just $1.99 each. Look around for great deals everywhere at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Pretty music, huh?
Oh, beautiful. I like it.
The sound of 35 pocket calculators, a musical adventure, is what we're listening to. That's called Stay a While by our guest, Rettward von Doernberg. He is in Germany right now, I think, right, Robin?
Yes.
He is a singer, a songwriter. He was under the tutelage of a couple of my favorites, James Newton Howard, Alan Silvestri, oh my gosh, Hans Zimmer. He is a conductor. His music is featured in video games. This is really pretty music. Television shows, movies, radio, and he's the host of his own podcast called Aboard the Caravel, which I just went to the website, but I think you have to pay €10 a year or something, and I don't have any euros, so I have to figure out how to do this. Rettward von Doernberg. Good morning, Rettward. How are you?
Hey, Larry. Hey, Robin.
Good morning.
Great to be there.
Where are you?
Thanks for having me. Well, I'm in Germany, not in Berlin, actually. I'm in the south of Germany, close to the Black Forest, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because I enjoy this to be here in summertime. You know, Berlin is much too hot and much too smoggy and everything, so I kind of like to be in the south.
We have a friend down there in Bad Nauheim. How do you say it? Bad Nauheim? Am I saying it right?
Bad
Yes.
Nauheim. Yeah, sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, are you near there? We have a friend who lives there.
No, well, I'm really bad with geography, I have to say, but it's not close. You know, it's Lake I don't know what the English term is. Anyway, it's right at the south, near the Black Forest.
Okay.
Stuttgart would be the next larger city, but I might not know this one.
Oh, yeah, she goes there too.
Yeah, I think she goes there too. Yeah. Oh, well, it's so nice to have you on the phone.
Likewise, it's nice to meet you guys in person.
And please forgive me if I mispronounced your name. Rettward von Doernberg, is that close?
Well, it sounds great. You know, I spent some time in the United States, so everyone, you know, pronounce it like that, so that's totally fine.
Oh, okay.
The actual German pronunciation would be Rettward von Doernberg. But that's actually quite difficult for some Germans too. So, you know, I'm fine with any pronunciation that you want to go with, you know.
So your music is beautiful, and I'm just curious, what does it mean, 35 pocket calculators? What does that mean? Is it like 8-bit sound? Is that what it is, or whatever you call that?
Well, thank you. It's great that you like my music. Well, let me try to explain. This music, actually, all the sounds are generated by a certain software that simulates early home computers and gaming consoles. Actually,
Really?
one particular, which I grew up with, it's called the Commodore 64.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And those computers... You do. That's fantastic. And, you know, those computers are super slow compared to today's standards. So when I wanted to describe the piece, I was wondering how could I sort of make this palpable to people who might not know this particular piece of gear. So I did some math and found out that it's actually that the sounds, the computers I would need to generate those sounds would be comparable to 35 pocket calculators. And to make it even more of a comparison, my laptop, which is just a regular laptop, would have the processing power of 15,000 pocket calculators.
Oh, wow.
Just as a comparison.
Oh, wow. Do you know, the music on video games is outstanding and in general, and the music that you make, now that I know where it comes from, it's actually better, way better than the music was in those early video games. How come early music in video games wasn't this good?
Well, thank you. That's very flattering. But I think it was there are many really good pieces. But what you say, I think is correct. The problem they had is they could only produce like 3 notes simultaneously. So the computers were very simple, you know. So you had many limitations. And the idea for my current release was to not having to deal with these limitations, but to, you know, use that particular sound and make a full music production that could hopefully stand its own ground, maybe even on the radio. And you guys, you know, it's fantastic that you guys are showcasing this piece so it actually does stand up and can be played on the radio. So that's fantastic.
It's very clean sounding too. Back when we were doing things with cassettes, you had that hiss on there, but you don't have that anymore.
No hiss.
Well, I tried not to introduce any hiss. So yeah, you could, you know, but you're right. The tapes back then were kind of noisy.
All right, I want to put your picture on the thing we have here. I just put your name in there. And I don't know whose picture I'm looking at. I see James Newton Howard. I know that's not you. But I put your. How did you end up working with James Newton Howard? By the way, I've never met him. I don't know much about him, but I know whenever I've seen his name on something and then listened to the music, it's been really outstanding. He's really good, isn't he?
Absolutely, he's one of my favorites. And I have to say, I didn't work with him. I studied with him. He was part of, I did the UCLA extension program in Los Angeles, right? That's where he studied film composition.
Oh, wow.
And he taught one class, with one particular class. So that's how I got my share of James Newton Howard.
Do you have a goatee? do you have a...
If I have a goatee?
Yeah. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
Okay, then that's not you. I'm trying to find your picture so I can put it up on the on the podcast. Where can I find your picture?
Well, you know, I'm quite private, so I'm actually trying not to have any pictures.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm quite new to this whole game. You know, I've always been private and doing my music, and now I'm kind of like tentatively going outside and promoting my music. So this would be one step too far for me right now. So talking to you guys is a big deal for me. You know, so I'm kind of shy. You know?
Okay, so what I'll do then, I'll put. You have like a red logo or something. Right? I'm going to use that red logo. What is that?
A red logo?
That's on
I'm
the.
Not sure what you're referring to.
That's on your page on your press release. It looks like a computer chip.
Mm-hmm. Right, that's the cover artwork. Right? Yeah, please do.
All right, that's going to be on the podcast.
Wonderful. Sounds good.
As soon as I get it on there. All right. So how do you do this? I mean, do you sit with a keyboard, or do you kind of write on a computer screen using a program where you kind of put notes in one at a time? How do you do this?
Well, it's a little different every time. For this particular piece, I basically thought about what I wanted to do, what kind of idea. You know, I've already talked a little bit about the idea, and then I got a certain piece of software that simulated that particular sound of the Commodore 64 home computer. And then I basically just played around with it, you know, and everyone is different when they, you know, produce their music or compose their music. I'm sort of trying out many things and keep listening to them and change them sometimes over quite a long time, sometimes over months, you know. So piece really evolves in a way.
Your music is mesmerizing. I can find myself just drifting off. It's almost like hypnotic in a way. Does that same effect happen to you as you're writing it as it does to me when I'm listening to it?
Totally, it's exactly like that. You know, I'm totally immersed, and that's why I love it so much. You know, it's wonderful. It's a kind of meditation for me. You know, so
you have a YouTube page. I'm on your YouTube page, and I'm going to ask you if you can recommend me. I want to play another one while we're talking to you. I played "Stay a While." Can I play "Be Water"? Be Water?
Yes, please do.
Right,
that's my first release.
All right, let's see what this sounds like here. Is that it?
That's it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But that's probably just the excerpt.
Yeah, it's 42 seconds.
Right.
That is really nice. See, I would love this. This is a video game? Wow. And what is that? I mean, how do I hear the music? Is it sold as an album or? And what is the Caravelle.net? I have to get some euros. I can't sign up without euros.
Well, Larry, we can work something out, I'm sure. Maybe a discount. Who knows?
Why did you? Why did you name your website the Caravelle? You had said in the press material that you named it after one of Christopher Columbus's ships.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know that's a good story. A close friend of mine once asked me, "Well, how do you experience composing music?" Similar to what you guys asked me, you know. And I told him, "Well, it feels to me like sort of getting in a little spaceship and just exploring like strange planets or something." So later on, when I was thinking about creating a website, I took that concept and thought, well, what could be a good concept for that? And it occurred to me that maybe there is an analogy to Columbus, who set out with his particular kind of ship, which is called a caravelle. He set out to explore and find new continents. And in a way, I'm at least trying to do this with my music. And obviously, it doesn't have the impact of finding continents, but in my own personal space, it feels like discovering new continents and new places with my music. So every piece is that experience for me.
All right. Now, I have something to tell you. This morning, there was a piece in the news that scientists say that if we have sex on Mars, that the human race will have a new evolution. We'll have different people because of whatever's going on up there. So I think I would prefer to have your music than to live on Mars, because there's probably not a whole lot of things to do up there.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true.
Because the video game systems are being re-released from a few decades ago, I think your music that you're enlightening the people of today are going to really, really relate to that, because it's fun sounding and it's very, very soothing, and it's like, you know, you can start humming along with it.
Yeah, and that was the whole idea, you know, to make it very accessible to people who are not that familiar with chiptune music, which is the genre, you know. So if you listen to chiptune music, like real chiptune music, that can be quite taxing, you know. That can be, it can be a little bit too much for most people. So this could be a way into this whole world. That's correct.
And it's not dark sounding. There are a lot of music in video games that are very, very dark sounding, and I like yours. You're totally opposite.
No, thank you.
I can really hear the influences that you've cited. Alan Silvestri, James Newton Howard, and Hans Zimmer. Those are three. We're on the same wavelength when it comes to our taste in music. I love all of that stuff, and your music is right up there.
Wow, thank you. That sounds good.
We had read that you, in your bio, that you are a conductor.
Well, I've studied conducting, but I've conducted various ensembles, but I need to do this more. So I have some experience, but I hope to gain some more in the future.
When you are conducting the ensembles and you have pieces that you didn't write, do you take liberties sometimes to allow the people in the orchestra members in the ensemble to add their own personal flair, or do you stick to the written music?
Well, I have never conducted any music except my own music, any other music.
Oh my!
But to your question, maybe another interesting, fun thing would be I often had in my scores pieces where I would basically tell the clarinet player, well, in this, like for the next 4 or 8 bars, improvise in D Dorian, just come up with something, and that was something actually that another student at UCLA kind of got me into, so that is one idea.
That's amazing. I love that.
That is interesting. How did you like living in Los Angeles?
I loved it. For the most part. I did find it a bit dangerous, and coming from Germany, where in Germany everywhere it's really green, and in Los Angeles it's quite it's
concrete.
Concrete, yeah. And it's kind of a deserty environment. But I grew to really like it, and actually I was pursuing my dream. So you take anything. I had a great time in Los Angeles.
Have you ever been here in Florida?
No, I haven't, but I would love to. I've only seen it on TV and in movies, and it looks wonderful. I'd love to come and visit.
Yeah, Florida is the exact opposite of Los Angeles. It's really green. I mean, there's a lot of trees and a lot of... But the thing is, it's just as hot as LA, but very humid also, and... I don't know if that... You should come like in April or March. If you came like this time of year, it's probably way too hot.
I see. But, I don't mind the heat. Actually, I love the sun and the heat in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
So sometimes I'm quite unhappy here in Germany because it gets quite cold, and right now it's wonderful. Right now it's just perfect, wonderful.
Is there any... Rettward, it says here that you're also a singer. Is your singing... a different kind of music that you do compared to what we're listening to in today's interview?
Well, I'm not sure where you have this singing part from.
You're not a singer. Okay.
I made a mistake.
I did. I started out playing in bands and actually writing songs and singing. So this is in fact correct. But I'm not doing this. But I might be doing this again, in the future. So there are sort of plans to maybe do something like that.
This is going to be a dumb question. I hope it's not too dumb. But is music written the same in Germany as far as the notes, the 5 lines and the notes? Is it written the same there as it is here?
Exactly the same. It's exactly the same, and that's the great thing. So you can basically, what many people do, they compose music maybe in Los Angeles for a movie or a video game, and then they send it over to Prague, or maybe even Germany, and people just can read it sight read it right away. So that's no problem.
Is the process of putting music to a movie more challenging because of the fact that you have to synchronize what you're hearing to what people are seeing?
Compared to making a piece like my current release?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're watching a movie, sometimes, like all of a sudden the music will sound scary, and something scary is happening, and so is that hard to do, or is that easy to do?
I always found it quite easy to do. One of my teachers once said, the easy part with film music is that 50% is already there. It's on the screen, so you're just adding to that.
Okay.
Whereas when you're making a piece like my current release, then you kind of have to make sure that you captivate the audience attention at all times. Whereas in a movie, the audience attention is most of the time at the screen, so the music is just like providing some guidance or something like that.
So how did this happen?
Helping.
How did this happen for you? When you were a little boy, did you watch movies or listen to music and fall in love? Did somebody give you a piano as a gift or a guitar?
I think I gravitated to music. There are early films and videos of me being like an infant, just banging away on instruments and that sort of thing. And later on, I was just banging away on our piano. So that's maybe one of my traits. Whenever I'm bothered or just want to get away of things, I just always had to making music. That's I've always been this way, and I've kind of pursued this then.
I think you're truly an inspiration to others. You make a super good mentor, because sometimes people are shy about expressing their talents, and you're allowing them this opportunity to hear you express yours, giving them the courage to do that.
Well, thank you. That's wonderful that you're saying that, and I hope to do this even more. That's part of why I created the Caravelle, my website, where I try to kind of, give a little bit of guidance and some ideas that have really helped me along the way. I kind of want to pass these on, so things that took me years to figure out at times. For example, one thing is like dealing with criticism, just like right now while I'm promoting this release, not everybody is really positive about it, like you two guys. Sometimes you get like terrible responses, and it's totally uncalled for. Exactly, but when I was younger, it would really bum me out, and I would be really sometimes sad for a year, for not years exactly, but for days.
I know what you're saying.
So,
do you know? Yeah, we get it all the time.
It's tough.
We get it all the time. So but can I tell you something? An artist like yourself has so much to give, and all it takes is one idiot to say something nasty, and they don't even know what they're talking about, and it can ruin you, and it can ruin. I mean, so many people are distraught, but keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is beautiful. It really is.
Well, thank you.
Let me. I found another one here. This is the same one, I think, but this is the one Robin sent me in an email. Now, what did I do with it here? Here, I think this is the same one, but just listen to this beautiful piece here. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. That is really beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Listen to that.
It's a movie piece right there.
That sounds like a movie, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Very action-oriented.
Nice. I'd love to be in the room when you're doing that. I just want to see what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. I want to tell you, my mother is from Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
But she was born.
So do you speak some German?
I can tell you I love you. Ich liebe dich. Ich liebe dich.
Oh, danke schön.
I can also ask you if you have fleas. Hast du,
wonderful.
Hast du Fleur? Hast du Fleur? See, these
are necessary everyday things.
So I see once you come to Germany to visit me, you're all set, No problem here.
Let's see. I remember my grandfather calling people on the roadway Schweinhund. Schweinhund! I remember that.
Well, that works.
Yeah, there you go.
That's called road rage in America. I don't know if it's called the same thing. Rettward, thank you for being on the air with us today. That was so much fun. I wish we had longer to talk to you.
Well, thank you guys too. It's been wonderful.
All right, the website is thecaravelle.net, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and I'm going to do this later on. Can you take American money? I mean, how does this work?
Well, Larry, you'll get a complimentary account, of course.
No. We want everybody else to go on here. So go to. And so what are we buying? Are we going to someplace with you with Columbus? It says, like Columbus, the composer Rettward von Doernberg is on a very personal musical voyage of discovery. Why not go with him? Yeah, I want to go. I click, I want to go. Yeah, and I already sent you my email, and I sent Robin's email, so that's how I know about you. Rettward, thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us. It's been a real honor for us to be able to have you on the show.
It's been an honor for me. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. And Robin will send you a link to the interview when we get it ready in about 3 hours or so. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
What's the music? I want to end with the music. Okay. Thank you, Rettward.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. The new monthly job numbers are out.